Turning now to some other news, and another terrible symbolic COVID milestone has been passed in the pandemic. The number of people who've died across the world is now more than 3 million. That's according to Johns Hopkins University in the United States, who've tallied this number since the beginning of last year. This comes as the latest 24-hour government figures show 120,000 people received their first dose of the COVID vaccine yesterday. Nearly 500,000 people have had their second dose, also a new record. 32,700,000 people have now received their first dose of a vaccine, and 9.5 million people have had both doses. Kamian Zeran reports now on the global death figures, which have surged again in recent days due to variants of the disease hammering health workers.
It's a grim milestone. Globally, COVID has now killed over 3 million people. India, now the world hotspot. In the last day, nearly 250,000 new cases. In Delhi alone, 24,000. With new variants helping to drive the increase. There's only so much that testing can achieve. India, like much of the world, needs vaccines to defeat the virus and avoid financial ruin.
This situation is self-defeating for both public health, as we've heard, but also for the global economic recovery. Vaccine policy is economic policy. Vaccine equity is the biggest moral test before the global community.
It's not just less well-off countries lacking vaccines. Germans are being offered the Sputnik jab if they're prepared to travel to Moscow. The government there accused of underreporting its own COVID cases.
I really do hope I do not take it away from a Russian and who wants to get vaccinated and can't because of me.
In Brazil, huge new mausoleums are being built. Each number a name, yet to fall to this deadly pandemic, with the Brazilian health ministry warning of the implications to the unborn. Pregnant mothers are thought to be at increased risk from new variants.
If possible, delay the pregnancy a little until a better time, and you can have a problem-free pregnancy.
The UK government has now said pregnant women should get the jab, as dozens of cases of the new Indian variants were discovered here too. And questions over which countries should now be on the so-called red list. The implications for easing lockdown, as yet unknown. So what do you think the implications are then for coming out of lockdown this summer?
The bulk of the adult population, who are the people who go out a lot and interact a lot, are not immune at all. So at this point, we are in a dangerous situation if people imagine that it's all over, because it isn't all over, and we can certainly get waves, as we're seeing in other European countries right now, if people start interacting too closely, because a large number of the adult population, a large proportion, are completely not immune to this virus and can get sick and can pass it on if they get exposed.
Difficult decisions everywhere on how to balance lockdown versus life. In Egypt, strict cleaning protocols as Muslims begin the holy period of Ramadan. While back in India, fears people returning from the Kumbh Mela festival on the banks of the Ganges may inadvertently carry the virus with them.